Okay, we're almost done. And we'll get started.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, man. Every time, when I need LinkedIn to be quicker, it's slower. But anyways, okay, it's important to be live, Unless people see us, no, we're not doing anything. We're just doing a meeting with close friends. So let me share my screen and we can get started. So hello everybody, thank you for joining our sixth webinar of the year. Even though it's May, we've done one ahead of schedule. But anyways, I have great partners today, and we're going to cover a topic that we have never covered before: product development. Because without products, we wouldn't need hellotax, we wouldn't need Airwallex, we wouldn't need anybody else, because you need to find first your product before you start selling. So let me share my screen and show you our presentation today, and we can get started. Okay. Do you see my screen? Do you see the presentation?
It's you're sharing your browser.
Okay, man. I hate that in Zoom, You always need to share the specific. Okay, here it is. They need to fix that, by the way. So like I said, now we have a very interesting topic today. The series is Amazon 2022 expansion roadmap, product development, borderless payments, and taxes. We have Steven Blustein, co-founder of Gembah. He's gonna cover the product development and what they do. They're the first product development marketplace in the world, meaning that they can connect you with inventors, engineers, anybody who can develop your idea into a product. Then Curtis is going to talk about the borderless payments, because the goal for each service is to start locally and expand globally. And to do that, you need to be able to do currency exchanges and move money around the globe, and of course, and pay as little as possible and make it as easy as possible. And of course, before you even start doing any of that, you would need to be tax compliant, because without having the tax set up correctly, you're not going to be allowed to sell anywhere. USA, Europe, it doesn't matter. So I would like to thank our sponsors today. I have very good partners besides those who are speaking today. And because of that, these partners help us promote this event so we can reach more people and we can share what we're doing today. So our gold sponsor is Black Label Advisor, John Elder. He's a Texan like Gembah, like the Gembah team, and he's providing 25% off their consulting services for brands. Now they help brands grow from 1 million to 8 figures, and they help you with Amazon and Walmart. Our silver sponsor is SellerLogic. SellerLogic is a repricer tool, and you're gonna get 2 weeks for free with them, and they can help you either buy a box or automate your prices based on your sales. You can get the giveaways like a value up to €1,000, and you have the link here, but we'll send that in the follow-up email, so don't need to write it down. And our last partner and bronze sponsor is a very close partner of mine, is Margin Business. These guys cover listing optimization and localized translations in Europe, meaning that if you want to expand in Europe, you need translations. Otherwise, it would be hard to convince people to buy your product. And they can help you with the listing optimization, localization service on Amazon, Europe, on all the markets. And they're gonna give away 10% of their first invoice, free consultation, and a free listing analysis to everybody who is watching the webinar right now, or anybody who's gonna watch it after that. We'll send the details later on, and you can claim that. So here is the agenda today. First, I'm gonna talk about hellotax and what we do. and how the VT compliance in the EU is a big blocker and how we help sellers to overcome that. Then Steven is gonna tell you more about Gembah, their story, and how product development can increase the value of your Amazon business, because that's vital. I mean, you need to have a unique product, otherwise you're just one from a million other sellers. And after that, Airwallex are gonna talk about why is borderless commerce the future, and what do you need to know about that. Airwallex is a partner which is used by almost all my other partners for fintech, and they're one of the most reliable fintech partners that I have. And at the end, we'll have the Q&A section. If you have any questions, type them in the chat. Leave that in the Q&A section. If you have to leave, don't worry, you can still type your question, we can answer that eventually. We're also streaming on YouTube, so if you have to leave, you can watch the recording. After that, we'll have a breakdown about each speaker, so you can always fast forward to the speaker or the topic that is interesting for you. So let's get started, and let's tell you more about hellotax. hellotax is a company for which they're running their partnerships. Besides that, they also run a partnership with a service agency called Extreme Power Brands. And the story is really interesting. I used to be a client of hellotax, and I was selling across Europe for 10 years. And the reason why we're talking today is because I was a seller. I use hellotax, and when I sold my business, I was asked to develop a partner program. And I decided that the best way to help hellotax, our partners and everybody in the space, is to create this event where we educate sellers for different topics. But besides that, the main problem that hellotax is solving is the VAT compliance in Europe, because it's a big issue. I used to have this issue, and this is why I was using hellotax. But the main point is that hellotax is not just like an accounting software like any other. It is built by ex-Amazon sellers, so it's tailored to help e-commerce sellers expand across Europe. So why are we talking about Europe? Of course, I mean, you might not know, but Europe is a huge market. If you compare it to USA, in Europe is a continent, is a bigger market than the States, and it's underdeveloped. You can get access to over 400 plus millions new customers, 27 countries. Even though if you're just selling in the States, even this is the biggest market, if you separate them by countries, still you're going to expand to a whole continent. So you're switching your brand from a small local brand or like a one country brand to a global one. If your competitors are not doing that, you're going to overtake them because you're going to expand before them. And of course, when you sell to a huge new market, you can reduce the cost of your sourcing, of product development, and everything, meaning bigger profits for you. And what are the main blockers in Europe? So the first one is language barrier. You can see Deutsch, English, Italiano, Francais, Ruski, Espanol, Svenska. Unless you have the proper translations, you're not going to succeed. And I'll give you an example. Amazon, they launched their Amazon Sweden last year, and I'm not sure what they used, but their translations were all messed up, and everybody was making fun of them. Swedish customers were not happy. So that's really important. I mean, even for English speakers, the listings in the UK are not the same in the USA. For example, in the USA, you say practice. In Europe, in the UK, you say training. And if you're not localized, people are not going to feel that you're actually local, and they're not going to buy your product. And of course, once this is cleared, once you take care of the translations, which we can help you with because we have partners covering that, like margin business, then you need to deal with the value-added tax, which is like the sales tax in the USA, and then customs and logistics. All that VAT is covered by hellotax, but we have a close partnership with the customs company and logistic company, which can help you with the rest. It's like a bundle, we have the one-stop shop expansion package to Europe for you guys. And then you would like to ask, okay, I mean, that's great. What do you need to know when you expand to Europe? I mean, you need to know what's your VAT liability, meaning how much taxes you had to pay in the past and how much is your liability for the future. You need to register on one or more markets across Europe, depending on where you store goods. You need to have a complete view of the goods that you're storing across the continent, and you need to have complete visibility across all your sales channels, like Amazon, Shopify, any private label website or whatever. So that's your responsibility in a way. And of course, no, somebody would ask, okay, where should I start in Europe? I mean, you said 27 countries. I mean, that's why, we're doing that for a long time, and we know. And we always recommend, we have this complexity VAT registration process. Now, Poland, Germany, Italy are one of the easiest markets to start with. And I'll tell you more which we recommend, but keep that in mind. These are the easiest one. And Spain is one of the hardest ones. They require so many documents, original documents, notary, and all this stuff. So that should be your last option, unless you're coming from the LATAM and Spanish is your home language and it's just the easiest place to move to Europe for you. So, and another reason that people ask, okay, why do I need VAT in Europe? Well, actually, you guys have no choice. Amazon is gonna force to that, unless if you don't have the VAT, you cannot sell. But things are actually easier this year. So last year, in July, there was a change in the VAT regime where the multiple VAT thresholds in different markets were removed. I'm not gonna tell you more about that because you shouldn't care anymore. Right now, there is a single VAT threshold of 10,000 euro, and when you reach that, you can opt in for the one-stop shop, which allows you to store goods in one market and make B2C sales and deliveries across the whole European Union. So it's much easier than before. The second reason why you need set of VAT is when you store goods in any given country. So for example, if you store in Germany, you need one VAT number. If you store in Poland, you need the second. If you store in Czech Republic, you need three VATs. If you store in the UK, you need 4. So if you store goods in any given country, you need to get VAT. So this is something that is still valid. And one thing which is good news for all UK sellers and all the US sellers who are using UK is a bridge. From March, the Amazon enabled the European fulfillment network between the UK and the EU and vice versa. This allows sellers to sell between the UK and EU using the fulfillment network without going through customs. To do that, you need to have an Amazon seller account in the UK, in the EU. You need to have FB offers for your product both in the UK and the EU markets. Inventory should be eligible for both local fulfillment centers, and you need to enable the shipping programs and export settings there. This is one thing. The other important thing is that you can use that, you can take advantage of that if your products are actually the products that you're selling do not exceed 150 euro. If they're exceeding that amount, you would need to go for customs. So that it's actually, but most of the sellers are actually doing small, like little value sales. So this was done to actually make it easier for Brexit sellers, with many of those stopped selling after Brexit. And the good thing about non-EU sellers is that you don't need to worry about paying the VAT because for UK to the EU, because Amazon is going to collect the VAT and they're going to pay that to the tax authorities. And what we do in hellotax, we simply deal with the reporting. And like I mentioned earlier, when you would like to expand in Europe, Amazon, if you go to Amazon, for example, they'll tell you, hey, Steven, hey, Curtis, let's do the pan-EU. Let's charge you some nice fees for 7 markets. Of course, they make money from the fees, so don't listen to them. It's always recommended that you start with one market. You can choose UK or Germany. We always recommend Germany because it's the biggest market after Amazon.com, the US one, central location in Europe. And one good thing for all English speakers, they accept documents in English. You don't need to do translations. Of course, same applies to the UK, but still, even though they're outside of the EU, they're the second option. Customs, we have the customs partners, so they issue the IORI number or important record, and they help you get your stock in Europe. And then if you're selling on Shopify or other marketplace, we can set up the one-stop shop registration, which allows you to host in one location, for example, in selling for Shopify, and make one, actually OSS registration, one report per quarter, and the VAT, of course, which you need to import the goods, and you don't need to do multiple VAT registration. So this is the easiest option. Once you set up your sales, you can test the different markets, and if you see that your sales are doing great in France, in Italy, in Spain, then you can enable the pan-EU and you can get multiple VATs, but don't start with more than one. Start small and expand after you've tested, how your products are selling. And what hellotax is doing, we have a software and we do digital VAT returns and registrations in all the Amazon markets in Europe. We check and process the data on behalf of the sellers. We control the payment. So the only responsibility for the sellers is, of course, you pay, then you connect your Amazon account or your portal transactions, that any transaction that you're doing. And then, we publish the VAT return, which we file in your behalf, and you need to pay that. As simple as that. We have account managers who speak multiple languages. So we have the SaaS solution plus the managed service. And of course, we have a software which you can check out. It's free. I'm going to share that after the webinar so you can see it. And of course, we have some giveaways, but I'm going to share that at the end. We're giving out 6 free VAT registrations. So that's it from me, guys. I'm done with the boring part, which is taxes. But like I said, you guys have no choice. In the USA, it's much easier, but still, you cannot go around that. You know what you're saying. There is nothing certain in life but death and taxes. So we've covered taxes. We don't want to talk about death. So let's move to the next topic. And Steven Blustein, co-founder of Gembah, he's going to tell you their story because they're the one of a kind. There is no other company offering what they do. And I know from experience, I was selling products 10 years. This is vital. If you don't have a good product, you don't have anything. So thanks for joining, Steven. Tell us, more about you. Introduce yourself, introduce Gembah, and tell us how you're helping sellers to expand globally.
Well, thank you, Nick. Curtis, good to share the floor with you as well. Nice to see everybody today, or I can't see you, but I know you're out there. For us, we'll start with creation. Agreed. Can't avoid death and taxes. I have my master's in tax, so spend a long time in that world. So I appreciate all that you shared, Nick. It's definitely something you want to have smoothed out. After everything is set up, you start thinking about how to expand your business, especially in all these global markets. Us at Gembah, we talk a lot about the creation journey and how to continue to grow your business through product creation. So I'll go into a little bit about who I am, why I'm here today. They'll go through our journey and give you some tidbits on what acquirers are looking for and these types of things, and then how you can kind of streamline your product development journey in that fashion as well. So who am I? I'm Steven Blustein. I started my first global business selling millions of products when I was in college. I started a company that was a pet product company called Pride Bites. Expanded that very quickly into nationwide selling through retailers all throughout the United States. I think at one point we were in 3,500 retail stores. That show grew really quickly. We got on the show Shark Tank, and I was able to secure a deal from 2 of the sharks on Shark Tank. And then after that, it was really kind of blazing a trail that was very, very fast paced afterwards. In 2012, with that business, we were named Best Product of the Year by Pet Business Magazine, which was by the Pride Bite. So it was a dog toy that was foam stuffed that had never been on the market before. So a completely unique product. In the same kind of respect, I was named to the 40 under 40 list in the pet space. Continue to really hone in on my product development acumen and continue to understand and explore all ways we can help creators, since I was one myself. We started Gembah through all of this, with the understanding that it's really challenging as a creator to create your own products. With Gembah, with Pride Bites, I literally had to go overseas and do it myself. Had to learn Chinese to manage my teams. The whole process of going over there probably 50, 60 times in a 5 or 6 year span. When I think about my strengths and what got me a deal on Shark Tank, I can't say that that's where my time should have been spent, right? I think it's better focused to sell and to be out there doing and working towards your strengths. And really, I think that's how Gembah evolved. So what is Gembah? We're the first ever global marketplace for product development, helping you go from back of the napkin to launching on the shelf with ease. Learning from all those pain points that we went through when launching our first companies, and taking someone through the complete process from research, understanding where you're going to go, what the market is like, then adding in the concepting phase or ideation into design, where we match you up with experts from all around the world who are the best of the best to help you create your product. And then flowing that through into sourcing, helping you find the right partner. We're in 6 locations all throughout the world with full teams on the ground, with great support there. That will then help you transition to finding a factory partner and managing them effectively in order to get that product, the last phase of logistics, and then getting that product onto the shelf. We've grown really rapidly in the Amazon space. We've been committed to really the FBA world and helping anyone from large to small do this in the most effective way. And we launched our Series A back last year, and looking really to just continue to blaze the trail, as I said, of new product development and product creation. And so today, really, going into more about how to increase the value of your Amazon business when thinking about it from the product side of things and the creation and development side of things. And so, after talking to tons of VCs and obviously a lot of aggregators, we've kind of identified the main points that aggregators are working for, acquirers are looking for. And those are product moats, right? Do you have patents? Do you have things that are defensible? What's unique about your product that no one else has access to? How long is it defensible? Stuff to think through that process of what acquirers are looking for. Product extension. So you started with one product. How does that extend to the rest of the product line? How does that overall affect the rest of the products that you're selling? Is it growing your LTV across multiple items? You may have some cases where you have a loss leader in your strategy, but that could then lead to more development or more product sales in another category. We're seeing that interaction amongst your products and your brand to be truly of interest to those that are looking for acquisitions. Finally, the consolidated operational aspect, of course, seeing that, if you're selling a baby product, you're selling a pet product, and you can look at the operations and they're seemingly similar on the backside of things, looking under that hood and consolidating those efforts, another area that people are looking for. Consolidating marketing, this is a big approach. So your list, right, is the list transfer amongst multiple businesses or multiple different products, or how do they interact together? Is it a different addressable market? Who's actually purchasing, right? Where are you selling? I think, Nick, you hit on that, where you sell specifically. But in this case, it's, you have a Shopify store, you have an Etsy store, you have eBay, you have Walmart, kind of all these different aspects of things. How far are you reaching out right now in terms of what your strategy is? And then in terms of like how simple things are, I always tell people, it's like, when you're A plus B plus D plus E plus F plus G, like it's hard to get to that ending point and understand like where you need to be. If it's just simple, it's A plus B equals C, then, typically the most simple business wins, right? And then, last but not least, obviously everyone's here to make money. So I want you to be very profitable. And obviously that's something that you need to think through when you're looking at any product or selling any product. So it's sort of 2 approaches that we've seen people take. One, the product listing approach, and another one is a customer focused approach, and we'll hit that next. But really, in the product listing approach is, can you find the blue ocean? Are you using the metric platforms that you need to understand what type of investment it's going to take? What are the cycles? How fast is it growing in terms of search volume, et cetera? And all the things that there's a methodology around that thousands of sellers are using every single day to identify, hey, there's a gap here and I should fill it. We kind of think through it in a different light, which is kind of really putting yourself in a customer perspective and understanding who you're selling to, who's your customer profile. It could be a wide range. At some points, as you're crossing the chasm, it could also be very different. At the beginning, your customer is going to be one thing as an early adopter, and it'll be different as you're moving through that cycle. But ultimately, how do you learn everything about them so you can position what you're doing to sell them effectively and to make sure that you're making a product that they actually want, right? Understanding your industry tools, and then, of course, taking that plan and saying, hey, I'm here right now. Here's how much investment I have at the current moment. Here's where I want to be. You could want to be a mattress provider. You could want to be Casper, right? One of the best. And so if I'm going to go and compete with them, or I'm going to take that approach, how do I get there? Right? Do I start off with one product, understand the market and what I'm doing on the sales and marketing side, and then move and progress into my own unique products and things of that nature? So those are the things to think about, I think, as you're going to that approach. Where are the shortfalls within the customer perspective, rather than, hey, here's the metrics of sales and opportunity, if that makes sense. Again, kind of this is a little bit more, as I was saying, in terms of your approach, but you really have to understand, what kind of business you want to build overall, right? Nick, I know you've been in a couple of different things. Curtis, I know you all have had, widespread success, and I think, from all of you kind of thinking about where you're going with your business is something that really ties directly to the products that you're going to make, right? So if I'm overall thinking of a low cost strategy and building it that way, what products do I make? If I'm looking to be high end, high quality, et cetera, what kind of products do I want to make? Where do I want to sell? How to really think about how people interact with that product, and where they do it. So we go through kind of a typical process here at Gembah. Our typical development process focuses on a couple different items, but we start at the very beginning with understanding our customer, and that goes pre-research, right? Who you suspect could be your customer. You validate that with research and explore different opportunities and handle the selling landscape, what's working, where it's working. And that goes down to also how I market it, my price points, the feature sets, et cetera, everything that goes into the research element. Design, where we're going to take and go from literally back of the napkin sketch, or if you don't even have that yet, going from idea to a sketch into some sort of rendering, into the actual drawings that you need to hand to a factory, and tech packs necessary in order to make that product. Sourcing, going out and finding the right factory partner. We can talk more about that as well. And then finally, manufacturing the component, making it come to life with that right partner. In the focus sense and identifying like who's our target customer, I think it's really trying to put it in a firsthand experience. My first company with Pride Bites, I was a dog owner. I did buy a lot of toys. We, purchased a lot of toys, ripped them up, try to understand everything about it to where the real pain was. And that's a good thing to do as your first step in terms of focus is, where is there something that's not in the industry, what's not doing well, then kind of going back forward and saying, hey, what could we do to enhance that, and start kind of letting your ideas run in that sense, letting your mind go to kind of that visionary place. Next is the research element, obviously with qualitative and quantitative. I want to use them in both respects really importantly. I think on the quantitative side, leveraging all the tools such as Helium 10, Jungle Scouts, and Amazon's variety of Amazon platforms that you can check all the different research element of things. And I think that's really helpful because it allows you to align to where the industry is moving and to be able to set the right foundation for your product, whether you're coming at a certain price point or kind of how to map that out. And of course, on the qualitative perspective, talking to people, sharing them what you want to do, and getting their direct feedback, maybe from a smaller focus group, to understand, how to enhance that product or how to adjust things. Finally, on the design side, how do we go from, what we call kind of the branded approach, which is kind of low touch, to completely unique? Well, either you have a lot of research and a great focus, and you're ready to start off with unique off the bat because you've had experience in that realm and you understand that approach, or you start kind of on the lower side of things, on products that already exist, already white label. You just have to change your logo on it. We call that branded, or possibly going up in terms of incremental value and going into the product type of customized product type, which we call it, which is mean that you just want to take something that is already out on the market. You don't need to recreate the molds, but you want to adjust the feature set of it 10% to really make it yours and to cover, some of those areas that you found in your research study. In terms of this, we think about different feature sets or colors in that case, because if you use something that's existing, it'll be less invasive and cost less time and money, obviously. With the new innovations in the market and understanding features and understanding where we want to drive in terms of that complexity, the more unique the product is, if it's never been on the market before, the more complex, the more innovative it has to be, the more planning you have to do with it. Obviously, the more money that needs to go into it. So when we're thinking about design, some elements that can help you and say, hey, maybe that's something I can easily tweak this time in order to sell the product, understand it, and then be able to then scale the product into a unique product later on down the road. Now, after this, after you've kind of defined your design, really understood from your strategy where you're kind of headed, whether it's down this branded approach, right, taking an existing product and slapping your label on it, customized approach where you're enhancing the value, maybe 10% of the feature sets in order to accomplish your goal, or finally the unique product, right, developing your own molds and branding, et cetera, everything from complete scratch. Either way, you need to kind of end up on the right process to be able to now take that over to a factory, right? And to start sourcing your product. And that's where we kind of transfer in from design into sourcing. And something that I think that we do really well here at Gembah is kind of bring all of that together in one cohesive place. Because if you're doing it by yourself, you'll have to go to first a design company, then go find your factory, whether through a trading company or going onto your own to figure it out. And then they don't really talk or communicate together with each other. And then there seems to be some issues with that kind of co-working relationship. And then finally, as you kind of move through that, and you have then production management, you're relying a lot on people all over the world to help you when you can't be there to see it yourself. So that kind of integrated approach and helping people guide people through the workflow, I think, is what Gembah does extremely well. And in this approach, our goal with, kind of the main thing with sourcing and to continue moving this along is just, finding the right partner. That's the most important thing here. And oftentimes what we say is like, we have people come in, especially that we're representing for Amazon, you don't always get the first quote back that you want directly. I think we always find people who are just looking for price. But in my case, I think that if you find the right partner, has the right tools and understands your vision for things, typically you can get there. So the way that we like to say it is it's really about bringing a partnership together and developing kind of your partner factory is going to be able to take your business to the next level. Finally, on the manufacturing side of things, this is where I think you can't lose sight of it. So you do all the work up front, you get the design done, you get the sourcing done, you find the right partner. You just going to walk away? No, you're not going to go buy a house and then contract on a house and then expect the house just to show up the way that you wanted to have that. So here at Gembah, we put a lot of controls around that process to make sure that when you finish production, what you get is what you want to receive. And we have quality checking through that process as well. And something that I strongly encourage you to do to make sure that the product that you purchase and the materials that you purchase are going to be on hand at the factory when you start. When you check in the middle of production that things are going the way that they should, there's no unexpected time changes or material changes, et cetera. And then finally at the end that it's QC'd with somebody that's responsible in order to go in and be very objective about, hey, what we're seeing, what we're not as a third party, so that you can look and get somewhere with your factory that says, hey, these are the issues. Let's figure those out. So that's really our full process of product creation. I think the way that you should think about it is based upon your approach and where you're at in your journey should be kind of the amount of investment that you're giving at that point versus something that you've tested and already figured out. Either way, I think there's all steps in that flow. And here at Gembah, we manage all steps from the first time creator to somebody who's like the Peloton who is looking for very sophisticated supply chain support. So here to help at any time. Appreciate Nick, you inviting us on today.
Thanks, Steven. That was very insightful, especially the last part where it told everybody that how things used to be before. You find the product, then you find the manufacturer, then it's amazing. And I did that like 12 years ago, but I got lucky because I was very early. Nobody was selling that. So just to give you my story, it was really funny, but I'm originally from Bulgaria and I was sourcing from the USA and the UK and I was selling in Europe, buying for €2, selling for €50. But that was really early. Right now, you need to be unique. You need to find a one-stop shop solution so you can find everything very easy and you can go to the next step, which is very important. No, because once you have the product, you choose your market. USA, Europe, if you're doing great in the USA, you should start selling in Europe. But regardless of where you sell, you need the product first. When you expand, then you go into the other blockers that we covered earlier, like taxes, customs, logistics. But eventually, let's say you overcome that. We have partners. This is why we're doing all these webinars to educate people about the options. So you just need to make the next step. And here, after you're at the stage where you're selling on multiple markets, you deal with multiple currencies. you start thinking about that. Okay, man, I don't like this bank exchange rates. Of course, man, nobody likes banks. They're in the Stone Age. And this is why we have fintechs. But there is so many fintechs. So how can you choose one who is reliable? And I know many companies. I've done webinars with plenty of them. I've done a lot of initiatives, and I can say Airwallex are good because they promise something, they deliver that. And today with me is Curtis, Shoung, partnerships with Airwallex. They're providing forex exchange for e-commerce sellers, but I'll let him introduce themselves and tell you what exactly they're doing for sellers and how you can guys benefit and what they can do for global expansion. So thanks, Curtis. Now it's your time. Thank you for waiting 35 minutes.
No worries. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for having us here. I'm really excited to do this and just sort of introduce your audience to Airwallex. So, we have a bit of a funny name. Most people haven't really heard about us. So I'll give you a little bit of background, and then we'll actually, maybe talk about something actually more interesting here. So Airwallex is a global company. We were founded 6 years ago in Australia. We've raised a lot of money from a lot of really, really high name investors. We have 12 global offices, 1,200 employees. We do payouts to 190 countries. There's sort of 3 core things we really do really well here, right? And that's really relevant for your audience and everyone in FBA. So one is, you can create a global account to collect and hold foreign currencies with no forced conversion, no fees at all, right? Spin up an account in the US, spin up an account in UK, Euro, and it's free with no cost to you, and have no minimums, no maximums, no fees whatsoever to collect, hold, and actually send your funds, right? We want it to be your money. You've earned it. We're not going to fee you to death. We don't have any fees here. So it's really about how we can help, your business grow globally, right? Whether you're sending money to your suppliers, your agencies, your support team, or to, your vendors globally, right? And that's really what we're trying to do here for everyone, right? Yeah. Oh, hello.
You're done, Curtis?
Oh no, yeah, we could talk about other stuff too as well, right?
I think we can tell them about some case studies, like a challenge solution. I told them you're reliable, show them what you have done for some companies, because that's the best. I don't care what people tell me, show me, like with the food, you taste with your eyes, then you eat.
Sure.
Tell us about some story that you've done for some.
No, for sure. I think we can think about this at a high level, right? I think the concept and the topic was really about the future of borderless commerce, right? The idea is we're really at the start, right? You have companies like Gembah that help you create and manufacture products in multiple countries, right? And then help you send it across the globe. And you have companies like hellotax to get you compliant across the EU in a few clicks. With a company like Airwallex, you're instantly able to just be present, right, in 3, 5, 7 different markets across, the globe, right? You can do this basically on Zoom, right? You don't actually need to be anywhere anymore. You don't need to go to a physical bank and do a conversation, present yourself in any physical manner to start your business in a new market, right? And marketplaces like Amazon actually want you to do this, right? This is their entire value prop is saying, hey, by the way, we're going to make this really, really easy for, let's say, a US based seller to go to the EU or vice versa. Amazon's not even just stopping at the Amazon part, right? I don't know if your audience knows this, but in the US, Amazon launched the ability for you to use their warehouse and their supply chain to sell on other marketplaces like Walmart and eBay, right? And Shopify, right? They literally, your product comes out of their warehouse in a non-branded box, traveling by a non-branded, not an Amazon truck, to deliver your product, right? And this is sort of where everything's headed to, right? Where everything can just go and run smoothly. It doesn't matter if you're, in the EU, you want to sell in the UK, if you want to sell in different marketplaces, different stores, it's all available to you, right? And when we look at our customer base, right, the vast majority of our customers are in multiple countries, right? We have customers saving anywhere between a couple $100 a month to quite literally tens of thousands of dollars a month in FX and fees and foreign exchange and holding money, moving from their current provider, right? It's kind of like really obscene that some of these people are charging you like, 1, 2, 3, 4% to do an FX rate and all the fees. Like our starting rate is at 0.3%, right? And it goes never higher than 1%. So we're talking about whatever you're spending for your company, right, on the back office. If you think about just margins, right, we can increase your FX margin rate by like 2 to 3 times what you're doing right now, right? It's just like it's not like, oh, we're saving you, 0.1% or 0.01. We're talking about like 0.3 to 3% is 10x difference, right? So it's quite a good deal for you, for you to sort of use a tool like ours, right? The opposite is actually hold true too, right? Like you're also thinking about like, as you want to expand globally, it actually makes it very easy for competitors coming to your market too, right? So if you're doing well in one market and, like Nick's saying, right, like do well in one, then expand outward, the opposite is going to hold true, right? So you actually have to expand and grow your market quite quickly and expand to other ones, because you're going to need to like remove some of the risk involved in just being in one market, right? Other people are going to come into your market. Oh, hey, you're selling, just like Steven's selling like these dog toys, right? You're like, oh, well, he's selling these dog toys. He's doing quite well for himself. I'm going to go into his market and sell it to you there too, right? So it's really up to you to really expand first and not put all your eggs in this one basket geographically, right? Again, like all our merchants are in multiple markets. They're all expanding that number as an acceleration of the number of not just like, I'm in the US and that's great, but I'm in the US and I'm going to be in the EU and the UK and Australia, right? You can look at some really broad stakes numbers here, right? You're talking about like 63% of Australians buy internationally, right? 66% of people in France buy internationally, right? In the UK, it's 42%. Global sales are like 20% online. And do you think that number is going to go up or down in the future, right? It's going to go up. So like you're at a really great place right now. But I would strongly consider like, using a tool, right? Like hellotax, like Airwallex, like Gembah, right? To just get yourself into other markets because the tools are there for you to do it in a very frictionless manner. And, hopefully save you a lot of money and grow your business too. I think we should do maybe Q&A. We have about 20 minutes left.
I'm always multitasking. Questions on Facebook, questions on LinkedIn, questions on Twitter. So, of course, we have some questions, so we should start with that. Just give me a second. So I have a question from Luis Liu. He's actually one of our partners in hellotax. Hey, Luis, nice to meet you again. The question is for Airwallex. How Airwallex helps sellers from China?
That's a great question. Okay, so for context, Luis, China is probably our biggest market, right? We have probably 4 or 5 actual offices there, right? In Shanghai and Shenzhen and Beijing and the whole deal, right? All over the place. And we help quite literally thousands of manufacturers, suppliers, factories, and sellers go from China and sell into the US, right? You can set up an Airwallex account in China, and within a few clicks of the button, once you're on the Airwallex platform in China, you can create a US-based bank account, right? And now you can collect USD from Amazon pretty easily, right? You can I could go into all the details here, but definitely talk to our team, right? We quite literally have thousands of customers, clients, from all different shapes and sizes, some with, like very large, 8-9-figure sales, and also some starting out, right, on the smaller end of the spectrum, all using us to help them expand globally, right? But yeah, no, we can definitely help you, right? It won't be a problem at all.
Okay, so another question. This is for the VAT. Okay, the question is from James Madison. Okay, why are you recommending that we start with Germany? Oh, I think I mentioned that, but the reasons are following. No, I guess if you're like an US seller, for example, you have priority when you're expanding to Germany because there is a specific tax authority which deals with US entities, and you usually get the VAT in probably like 1.5 months, 2 months, compared to some other sellers where it takes 4 months. Other thing is, they accept documents in English, so you don't need to worry about translations. Biggest market in Europe, biggest Amazon market after the Amazon.com, and central location across Europe. So it's the perfect starting point when you start selling in Europe. So I think there is a question for Gembah regarding from Steven. Steven asking, in regards to product development, what are the best markets? I mean, where do you have the biggest talent in regards to product development? Is it China, or there is some other closer to the US markets, like locations?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, in terms of like the experts that are in our system, most of them are US based. So we definitely have, more growing experts outside the United States, but I'd say from the design experts, mostly located in the US.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Stephen. Actually, one question from Kim Jen. Are there ways to balance cost with custom product development?
Yeah, and I think there was a little bit about, kind of what I was describing. I don't have a slide for it, but, we kind of think about product development and with the different product types that you'd want to launch. That's how we break it down. So we have one product type that's, a branded product type. That's something that's an OEM product that's already in a catalog somewhere. Factory has this. They can just slap your logo on it and send it. And I would say, like, if you're just getting started, this is a way to test the market. As Nick said, like, a couple of years back, you used to be able to have nice arbitrage here in terms of profits. So this was a good area to start with. You didn't have to have a lot of complexity. You could just get started with a branded product and then own the category. Now you kind of have to develop a little bit more feature set in order to become uniquely your own. And so as we move across that feature set that you're going to add, we call that middle section customize. This is something that you don't have to retool or add new molds or kind of cut that back on that cost savings or have that cost savings there. And you just adjust about 10% of the product feature set. So if I have this cup here, I just kind of add a handle. The cup's already there. Maybe people are saying in the reviews they don't have a handle, so you add a handle, and there you go. You have another product that's more uniquely your own. And then finally, you have the complete unique journey, right? Which is the product is not on the shelf. I've never seen it before. The iPhone before it hit the market. These types of things that you had, that are not in the world that you can't go replicate. So that's going to be the most expensive route, right? Even if you're starting out and you have a novel concept, what we suggest is even trying to figure out how to do it on the customized route. So it can be more unique to you on your feature set, but not completely unique. That it's still that element of branded where you're using the baseline of what they have and then adding some feature sets. And that's going to be the best, most cost-effective strategy to move from branded through to customized to unique as you firm up the market and develop sales and really know where you're going with your product.
Okay, thanks, Steven. I think there is one more question from you. That's from Mark Perez. What could they expect on timing with custom product development?
Yeah, so we've done things as fast. In the early days, we were working with one-on-one commerce. We've launched things as fast as 4 months, essentially, right? So pretty quickly. But I think like when you're thinking about doing it correct, we typically say it's about a 9-month journey. Just the sourcing and production and logistics and going through that side of the supply chain is about 6 months. So typically your design from ideation to design, getting all that figured out is anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks is what we would suggest. So that's the typical timeline. But, of course, I think in any situation, if we're trying to move fast, we just define that up front and then understand where we need to go. And we can pretty much meet most schedules. Okay,
thanks, Steven. I guess product development is a hot topic. Another question from you, from Luis. Steven, is your service streamlined and integrated into a software?
Yeah, so Gembah has its own app, which is an amazing place for all these key contributors that you have throughout a production journey. So your designers, your experts there, maybe you need packaging folks, maybe you need compliance. You're going to have your production team overseas you need to communicate with. So all this is done in the Gembah platform that has a fantastic communication tool that brings everyone together in one place. Your customer success team managers from Gembah, your overseas team that you have on the production side, your experts that need to speak together. And so that's kind of how we get through that process that's so challenging from going from design to sourcing into production is to have it all streamlined. And so it all takes place with keeping everybody informed in one central environment.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. Another question that's from Anka. She's from Watam. So is there any specifics to Watam companies expanding into Europe in regards to your services?
Is that to me? Is
Yeah,
that mine?
that's for you, Curtis, about the fintech stuff.
Oh, Curtis. Yeah, Curtis.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Just say Stephen, sorry. Too many questions. Stephen is always
No problem.
No, I mean, Steven, if you want to answer this, you're more than welcome.
I was going to say, maybe I'm an expert now.
No, I mean, yeah, I think it's true of every geography, right? I mean, I don't think it's any secret that the US market is probably the juiciest market, right? For FBA sellers. Everyone's looking to enter the market. It doesn't matter if you're from China, like Lewis, was talking about earlier. I mean, quite literally, we have thousands in there, but also EU, UK, LATAM. Everyone sort of wants to enter the US market. But the reality is the US market's brutal, right? It's super hyper competitive, right? There's a lot to be made there, but it's also everyone's there, right? So just bear that in mind. But yeah, I mean, it's true, right? And as you sort of grow in the US market, you may be saturated in the market, right? You ultimately end up looking for other places, right? You ultimately go, hey man, the UK is pretty nice over there, right? They're growing really fast. They're doing a lot of business. Let's go over there. Or the EU, right? Germany, right? Like Nick says, the second biggest market, right? Why don't we go over there where it might be a little bit less competitive, right? Because the shipping and logistics and everything else are all done for you, right? hellotax will get you that set up and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So it's all really about just moving your product over or getting it localized. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a market out there that people aren't at least thinking about getting into, no matter where you're actually originating from or, what stage of company you're at.
Okay. Thanks, Kurt. Actually, you're just giving me an idea. We don't have a question for that, but in regards to Europe, this is, how one partner summarized Europe. It's hard to start, but once you start selling in Europe, it's not as competitive as Amazon US, meaning that it's a long-term revenue stream. You have all the service providers who can help you with that. There is so many tools that can make your life easier. You just need to be open-minded, like Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shows that you don't take. So if there is a solution, don't believe what they tell test it out and see what works. ABC testing is everything with taxes, with products, with PPC, everything. So let me see. We have another question here from Mark for Gembah. What is the fee structure if you already have a proven product but want to find the source from Asia to North America?
Yeah, so we work off of a subscription fee model. So it's you're paying for your production team or supply chain team anywhere. So it's based on number of products and complexity level, and that's how we determine it. So the cheapest amount. Our starting rate's around $1,500 to get started. So pretty easy. We don't take any fees over the top. So nothing, no fees against your purchase order or anything of that nature. So we're completely aligned with you. We don't want to, make money as your business grows essentially, but want to be supportive of you where we can. So and that's a little bit about how we charge on the supply chain side.
Okay, another question. I think that's for you, Curtis. Do you have a minimum size for your client, or you can cater for the big and the small and everybody?
No, I mean, our platform is meant to be for everybody, right? So I think I said it before, but I'll say it one more time, right? We don't have any minimums, maximums, fees at all, right? You can come to our website, sign up, use the offer that Nick just posted, and you can get an account and put $1 in there. You can literally have millions of dollars in there in different accounts all across the globe, collecting in maybe British pounds or USD, and you don't have to move it, right? We don't force you to move it. We literally have customers who have millions and millions of dollars or hundreds of dollars in these accounts, and we're not forcing them to convert it. We're not forcing you to exchange the money. You can just leave it there until you're ready to move it, because maybe you're paying Nick at hellotax and you want to pay them in euros or whatever it is, and you have this euro account. But you predominantly use USD, right? But no, there's no minimums, no maximums, and no fees.
Yeah, let me tell you a story. One of our partners, he was paying hellotax for some partnership deals, and he was paying like €1,000 for some referral for something, and he paid it, and he was supposed to pay like €1,000 and we received €950. And I said, okay, man, what's up here? And he said, I don't know, man. I sent it from my bank account. And I said, you know what? Go and do that with Airwallex next time, so we don't lose money. And they did that. And the funny thing is that we received €1,010. I'm not sure what they did, but it's not fully true, because I'm sure you're not giving. We're not giving money away, but still
giving money away.
The
No,
thing is,
no.
you're gonna pay less, because banks, I mean, they're old-fashioned. No, everybody knows that. But so this is not the key. It's easy to transfer. It's easy, and this is how stuff are done in e-commerce. You need to be quick. You need to use the best tools, so you can make your life easier, and you can save, obviously, on the cost. So I think with the overview in regards to the giveaways that we're having today, I shared what we're giving away from the sponsors, and now we're gonna tell what we're giving away from hellotax, Airwallex, and Gembah. hellotax is offering 6 free VAT registration to the first 6 people who claim that, who are either watching the webinar now live, or they watch the recording after it. If you have friends, you can also recommend them. I'll send more information in the email, but that's a total giveaway of like $2,000+. Gembah, they're gonna offer you a free ideation, or find a manufacturer package giveaway. Package value is worth up to $2,000. With the ideation package, you will spend time with an industry designer to ideate on multiple concepts to get an initial idea. The Find a Manufacturer package provides a short list of manufacturing recommendations and all of the required documents to get started with a new manufacturer. So this is the giveaway. We're going to share that in the email with the recording, so you can get in touch and claim that with Gembah. And the last is Airwallex. You know what they're doing. They're good for anybody who is selling globally. And this what is the giveaway. You can spend $3,000 in the first 60 days with Airwallex Borderless card, and you receive €300 cashback. In regards to the 50,000, you can spend 50,000 in FX fees, and you're not going to pay any fees. 0 fees for Airwallex to receive, collect, and send payments. And the first 10 people who sign up, again, attendees or people who are watching the webinar, they can claim that. But to make it easier for you guys, I'm going to send that in the recording after the webinar, and you can get in touch with the speakers. I shared everybody's email. So if you would like to follow our webinar series, we do once per month. We're very selective when we invite the most entertaining guys with the best topics. You can subscribe to our channel. If not, follow us on LinkedIn, socials, and we can have more to come in the future. I have Steven's, Curtis emails. So if you guys need to get in touch with them urgently, do that. If you need taxes, I'm sure you don't die to do that. But anyways, if you're in need, we can help out with that. So get in touch. Thank you, everybody, for spending time with us today. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Curtis. Enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll enjoy my evening here. So take care, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.